It's good to be here and good to see you. And you just hit that 1 year mark. So
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
to
I
talk
did.
about that.
Yeah, we can touch on that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You've been building this up, doing great, and had just some freaking banger guests, man. Big dogs. That's been good. Good job.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting away from that. I don't really care.
No, I get it. But still think you should reach out to Bo Jackson. I'm going to say it. You got to try. You got to try and get Bo on here.
I think I did a long time ago. I can't imagine that he runs his socials though. I'd probably have to find his manager and or his agent or whoever runs that shit for him.
Yeah.
And do you know, doesn't he live down south? Isn't he live in like Arkansas or somewhere fucking random?
Yeah, yeah, somewhere down south. I don't know.
Yeah.
The guy's
That'd
just
be
a
I'd go down there for that one. That'd be a good one.
that would be big. That'd be big, man. So a year of sobriety. Congrats. Good job. How you
Appreciate that.
feeling?
Um, it just kind of happened, dude. Wasn't even trying to quit drinking. One weekend of no drinking just led to 2 weekends of no drinking, and then a month, and then 2 months, and then I'm competitive. So
Yep.
I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna see how long I can keep this going, and then next thing you kind of know, it's a wrap, right? So
Yeah. That's that's the word, right? Being competitive, being driven, wanting more, wanting to do the best. It just I think that especially a lot of athletes, we get into drinking, do it as social, do it as part of just the lifestyle, I guess. And
yeah,
then one day you wake up and you're like, I want more. I want to do more. I want to be more. And I think that a lot, I mean, you had probably heard different people, whether it was on podcasts or self help or anything, where you hear somebody talk about that stuff and it leaves an impression, right? And I think that's what people should be focused on is just living better for themselves, but how they live and live for themselves and how they take it day by day, it can leave a positive impact on somebody. And I mean, that's where that's where it's pretty important, I think, right?
yeah, and I almost feel a little bit guilty about being like talking about it just because it like calling it what it is, man. It was very, very easy for me to do. Did not even think twice about really drinking at all. And I know that that's not the case with everybody. So for me to just kind of get on here and be nonchalant about it and um, I don't know, it makes me feel kind of weird just because I know, I mean, if somebody can go like a week sober, it's like a fucking big deal. Or a
Yeah.
month sober, it's a huge, humongous deal. But for me, it just wasn't. And that's just me being transparent about it.
No, everybody, it's a big thing to say that everybody's got their own journey. And if people would adopt that mindset, it is important because your journey is different from mine or anybody else's. Somebody else struggles and it's on their time, right? If people go around banging, I mean, I think of it from people that don't walk the walk, or maybe, there's Christians out there who go about their life like they're perfect. In reality, they should know better that they're not, right? And when they try to tell somebody else to be some way or do this or that, it doesn't come off well and it rubs people wrong. So if people do make their decision to be sober for to better themselves, their family, be a better influence, I don't there's no shame in it. I'm an open book. I don't really care. I don't have nothing to hide. I mean, I never have, and I don't feel like there's a need for that. So,
Yeah. We can keep kind of, we can come circle back around to this, but obviously you and I work together. A lot of the guys are going to end up listening to this. A lot of people that don't fucking know who you are going to listen to this. I know you have a ton of life experience. I'd kind of just like to unpack it, dude, and just kind of roll from there. I'm not necessarily going to interview you. I'm just going to kind of steer this thing in a direction and kind of see what's going on. I know you're an open book. You're on here for a reason. I don't do podcasts with people that I've usually worked with, apart from like Grenda, but he's not even really a client. He's just A friend. Let's just hit it home right from the beginning. Is there anything in life that you regret? You're
Uh,
48, right?
yeah, 8, yep, almost 49. And there's a ton of regrets, right? But they were lessons that uh, they were losses, they were lessons. There's a ton of regrets. Um, my best friend died in a car accident, and he had called me earlier in the day to um, come pick him up. And I had him at the house and asleep and taking a nap. And, you're at an age in your early 30s that you still probably, most men, don't realize life or death consequences, right? And you get him up, and I was going to get him back to his mom's to get a shower. And he ended up hanging out. And yeah, he died that night. So um, I even went back to the bar to get him, and I did not say, like, get in the car right now. I already came here, right? Like, let's just go. I just didn't make that call. It was like, all right, you're having fun. As long as nobody's letting you drive, you're good. Go. And next day, find out, and that's life changing. So I have a huge regret of that. I tend to want to at least encourage people that if somebody has had too much, be a dick. I mean, if you are, you just tell them. Like, don't let people drink and drive if that's the case, right? You know better. So if you're the bad guy, that's okay because you don't know. Yeah, they may not have gotten an accident that night, but you don't want that on your conscience for your lifetime, and it is. So I think that's a regret that's a day I wish I could change. Outside of that, everything was just part of the journey. I mean, youth hockey, right? I was good. I did good. Made the national development camp as a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old, which is measurable. The top 220, 240 make that. And then without structure or discipline in my life, I do like most people do and took it for granted, right? Took off to college in Minnesota and just took it for granted. But in the end, it all worked out. Had to work through some things, and there's a lot of time wasted when I was drinking. And I mean, productive. Always had a job. Come from, I'd say, food stamps to freedom, right? Like, didn't have it all, and made everything I can. It's been sink or swim. So pretty proud of what I've done in that sense. Going back to, you talk to the little 7-year-old you'd be pretty impressed with where you are, right? But ultimately, could have capitalized on a lot of other opportunities. But as long as in this journey, I'm capitalizing on making the most I can with what I have today. So I don't know.
Have you been able to unpack the thing that happened with your friend, drunk driving accident?
But yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna tell you that's not your fault. That's not, it's not on you. I have, and it doesn't it doesn't change the fact that it's on you when your boy calls you and puts you in that person of trust, and you drop the ball and their life is gone. And you know his kids, it's tough, dude. But there's things in life that are tough, and if you can't, you're going to experience them. So it's just part of it, I would say. I don't know. Live your best. I know he'd be smiling down, and I think he's going to probably, we're going to have a lot to catch up on someday. So that's how I look at it.
I think that's the only way to look at it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Grief and loss is a really difficult fucking thing. But as I'm sure you know, and hopefully everybody that's listening to this episode knows, that is one thing we all have in common, bro.
Yep.
We're
Everybody's got that
all
story.
gonna die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What did you say?
I don't even know, dude, but I know that, yeah. Father Time, Grim Reaper, he's undefeated. So it happens. And it's how you respond, I guess. Like it was, you would think something like that would be the wake up call, right? Like, probably shouldn't drink. drank more, right? Everybody gets together, trying to not celebrate, but you got all the high school guys get together, everybody's still getting drunk. It impacts everybody. It's more than just you that, him that died. Um, but everybody deals with it in a different way, and navigating through that, while I may have had my experience, others had their experiences and they felt lost too. So it's not like one person. I think people feel that I don't know. They just think about themselves like, no, it was just, but if you're open and you're seeing things, you understand that this person dealing with this way, this person deals with it that way. And that's a learning lesson in how you go about things in life.
Were you an alcoholic?
I would say, yeah. I mean, not the
Run
school,
me, run,
not the school vodka, waking
just
up, hitting that like, um,
run me
I
like a
mean,
run me through like a back in your heyday, a random week of drinking. What did that look like?
well, I think they nicknamed me Two Beers Grant because I always had a couple in the hand, rocking and rolling, right? And it's like a binge drinking thing. Um, you go through college, you're gonna knock some back, and you still do it. Go out with the boys afterwards, and I think it's a way that we all socialize. So it wasn't like didn't get in the way of work in that sense, but absolutely would get in the way of work in the terms of dealing with a hangover, not being productive, not being focused, not being there. Um, so yeah, I mean, I enjoyed having beers with neighbors and friends and going out and doing things, and it's all like looking back on it, yeah, what do you have out of it is just some horrible, I mean, stories that you think were funny, but when you look at them, they're not really funny. They're just flat embarrassing, you know, and waste of time, waste of money. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a big question of walking through. There's some disaster stories that, um, but it kind of would feel like it started to get to where it's just a rhythm, Thursdays afternoons, probably with sports, football, you watch Thursday night football, have a couple beers. Friday afterward, catching up with the guys, you're pounding some beers, right? And then Saturday, you're hungover, you're feeling like crap, get more beers, right? Get going. Enjoy the college football, sitting back, enjoying your day. Maybe guys come over, you go out somewhere, whatever. And then Sunday, you're still hungover, and you'd probably have some beers watching football. That's how I'd do it. Um, get into bourbon. I enjoyed my bourbon. Wanted to have that, on the rocks. Just whatever. It's just part of lifestyle. So you go out, you're on sales work trips, and you go down to the bar, dude. It's just how it was, but it gets old after a while.
How long you been married?
Um, I'm married now for 7 years, so married and divorced, and
How long have you been sober?
I've been sober for 7 years. Imagine that.
Okay,
Kind of goes together.
so that's what happened then.
Yeah, I mean, there was no ultimatums. It had been on my mind. I quit in college, so I'll put that out there. Right, let's backtrack. In college, I partied, and you get put on JV freshman year, and you just go down that cycle of, and then be right on the practice squad and injure something, drink some beers, right? Um, Senior year, I realized this is the last year of hockey. That's it. I fully committed to the program, followed it to a T. Didn't drink that whole time, and things turned out well. So to get voted by the team most improved after 18 years of playing the game, it spoke volumes to how how much the alcohol had affected things. And um, then I would have some beers after weekend games with guys for that night maybe, and then back to being no problems. But out of college, my first job was with Budweiser. So
Bro.
And 5 years of working for Budweiser, I found my rhythm of just knocking back some beers, right? It's,
Nothing like a Bud Heavy, Grant.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That was it. And then it just kept going, my friend, that tragic moment and still drinking some beers. And yeah, it, you just got to get rid of that shit. I just couldn't be, you can't be everything you want to be. You can't achieve goals. You can't live life to its fullest. I mean, some guys just, if I was in my drinking days and somebody was sober, I probably would have said, I don't trust a guy that's sober. Like, that's the stupidity of things I would have told myself. I don't know.
Was there
Does that
like
make
an, it makes a lot of sense, yeah. Was there like an aha moment or like a coming, they say the coming to Jesus moment to make you call it?
Yeah, yeah. I was telling my daughter she was a three-sport athlete, and I was telling her, hey, you got everything lined up. You're succeeding. Your GPA's off the charts. You've got all this going on, and just make sure you stay away from the partying and the drinking, and try to set some structure. And she just kind of gave me that look, like, yeah, but look at yourself, Dad. You know, and you realize that that's where it's coming from. I mean, what role was I setting? I was just showing that it's okay to have guys over and watch the game and drink beers, and kids think it's funny at the time, maybe, or they're laughing. You think they're just seeing dad be dad, right? Well, when they get to high school and they start going to parties, you don't have much to stand on if you haven't already lived a life the right way. So, and, and there was examples of, I mean, there was things in life that they should have hit harder. Um, we did a NHL fundraiser game one time, like alumni game with some NHL guys, and one thing that I'll never forget was we got down to the locker rooms after the game. Everybody's busting out beers, and Red Berenson was down there, and legend, right?
Mhm.
And he was the guy that, I mean, all he had to say, he just looked at everybody and said, like, basically, what the fuck are you doing? There's gonna be kids coming down here in a little bit, wanting to get autographs from them, and they're gonna be walking in this locker room. They're gonna see this beer everywhere. Like, put that shit away. You get told that by a guy of as big as Red Berenson. It hit like every guy, grown men, like, yeah, you're right. We need to put this away. But I think that people need to speak out and say, look, this doesn't leave a good impression on the kids. Um, but teach his own too, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that probably held some value until he got fucked up at a bar and got caught pissing in the alley. That is what happened, wasn't it?
I don't even know. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
dude.
I know that he made a good point in that situation, right?
Pretty
All
sure.
kinds of
I'm
things,
pretty sure
dude.
that's what ended up. He ended up doing that. I think that's how because he coached Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how he got canned. I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain that's what happened.
And maybe this game was after that. I don't think he was coaching at the time. So
That might be.
maybe he had learned some lessons and passed it on. I, I don't know. I think everybody along the line, I don't know. I don't know. People, we all, we all, we all fail, dude. So we all have fucked up. We all have, we still fuck up. And that's a fact. So, like, I ain't judging, but I know at that moment what he said was pretty important, right?
Yeah,
It
100%.
was spot on.
How many kids you got?
Well, we have five total, blended family. So ranging from 27 to 20. My
If
son's a sophomore down at Arizona Christian, baseball player, and my daughter's graduating next week from Montana State. Looking forward to that. Stepdaughter down in Nashville, and one that just moved back that's a nurse, and my stepson's doing construction and loving it. He loves to do that. So.
if you stepped out of that, looks like you're in your little shop or your den or whatever, garage, I don't know, office. If you stepped out of the office and all five of your kids took your spot and I asked them about their dad, what would they say?
I mean, probably say that I'm driven. Maybe I'm a little off because just so focused on things like this. Um, but I guarantee you they'd say, yeah, he used to drink and doesn't drink now and sets a I'm not going to say positive attitude because I had to be, I feel like for, in a way, you blend a family, it's a difficult situation. It's, it's not easy to try and help because you are the stepdad in that sense, right? I could be hard on my son and I was hard on my stepson too, just to help him in what I thought would be helping, right? Like I think you were talking, yeah, your guest, your coach. Um, I mean, we look back on things. There's no roadmap on how to be a dad. There isn't. There's no playbook, right? And you're gonna fail all the time. And you look back on like, man, I should have said it this way. Or what I've learned now is let them do their thing, and they're gonna fail. They're gonna experience hard times. Just let them enjoy their journey and not try and save them from the problems that you experienced.
I heard
Right?
this I heard this a few months ago and I loved it. It was something along the lines of when it came to parenthood, you're never going to get it right, but you can seriously fuck it up.
Yeah.
And I sat there, I was like, fuck, that's really, really good. And it makes a ton of sense. You're never going to just absolutely crush it, but you can really fuck a kid up if you don't have your shit together.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, being present and being there, even if you do fuck it up, don't do it right, you're still there and you're part of it. And they know that. They know that you were there. And sometimes we all go through the stage, right, of where we know more. Then we come out of that 22, 23-ish, right? Like they knew a little more than I gave them credit for. But yeah, you can definitely there. I mean, my mom, uh, it was raised in a, drug house, basically. They did their best. They did their best, right? And, my dad he went to jail for a cocaine deal. We lost the house. We were basically raised by my grandparents sometimes in the bars, which makes bars feel like home, sitting behind a bar, facing a mirror, right? Like it's just the way it was. But she was very, very good. She was hardcore verbally, right? Um, my brothers, stepbrothers, half brothers, right? Their mom, she wasn't their mom, but she was really wicked with the tongue. And my brother became a Marine, and he said these guys at boot camp, they were starting to bawl and cry, and he's like, they were being told, you're whatever, I don't know, but you're just a pussy and you ain't got it, and you're no good, you're not worth even being here. Why are you here? Scum of the earth, whatever. And he said I wasn't laughing at them, but I was laughing, underneath it all because it was like, that's all you got? My stepmom's got more than that. And he said there's kids just ball like losing it. They couldn't handle it. So hey man, it's part of the journey. I gotta appreciate the fact of what the way it went and whatever God had in the cards. So
What was it like growing up in that kind of environment, dude?
it was wild. I mean, I was picking up drugs, driving at 14 for my mom, you know, and I knew to keep her.
No, hang on. Don't gloss over that. Dive into that, please. What do you mean? She'd be like, "Hey, go get this drop."
Yeah, she'd need me to take some cash and go pick up some weed. Or she would be raging from the fact that I mean, she was great when she was stoned. She was
Really?
great. Yeah, I mean, we did some things, and I'm starting to reflect on those. We didn't talk in her last 12 years plus. But I reflect on some of the stuff, going fishing with her, hanging out. But yeah, I mean, she would be sobering up and I'd go get the weed and life would be good.
Did you know what you were doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Hell, I mean, I was playing with her spreading pan when I was a baby, like a little kid playing with the seeds and lining them up like little centipedes and stuff. I mean, we all knew it's how it is. There's a lot of people like that. You used to have to tell your friends, wait outside. I got to go inside and make sure all the pot smoke's out. And, my mom has her stuff put away. And you were raised around all of their friends. And so, one night they had a party, like some kind of biker group that was hanging out at the house, and somebody did something with somebody else's wife, and dude left, came back, set the guy's truck on fire, and it was 20 feet from my bedroom window. And like I remember them still saying, hell yeah, that would have blown up, but luckily the tank was full of gas. So I learned that a good full tank of gas keeps it from exploding. So yeah. There's a million of those stories. There's a million different stories to the whole thing. But in reality, all I knew was I wanted to go play hockey from when I was 3, and I was driven to get the hell out and do my own thing. So I think it's a good thing. We had food stamps there for a while, and that would be embarrassing. And I think it should be, right? Like they have cards now. They give them debit cards basically, and kids don't see or have to experience. People don't want them to experience shame. I'm like, whatever, man. Take some food stamps, go to the store, and have your friends show up and deal with it, man. You don't want to be on food stamps. Like, you don't want to be dependent on anybody. That's how I see it. Yeah, we could go on, dude. It's stupid.
Is your mom living?
Uh-uh. No, she died. She drank herself to death.
Yeah, so did my mom.
Yeah, we talked about that. Remember on the initial talk, which
Yep.
was just a little bit over a year.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
remember that. Yep. How old was your mom?
she was 63, 64.
Yeah.
Too
Did you,
young.
yeah, no doubt. Did you guys ever make it right, or as good as it could have been?
No, no, no. Her and my grandma both. They died. Um, my mom died just before her, and my grandma. In her last few days, I was able to go see her, and but they were together, right? They. I don't know. It's generations of problems that all led up to it, right? Um, I feel like my grandma felt like she did neglect my mom, so my mom had a lot of. She was a tortured soul. Um, Grandma and grandpa would go to the bar all the time, and mom was taking care of her sister who died early of cancer. And my mom dropped out of school and felt like she was robbed of a lot of things, right? So knowing that she was a tortured soul and knowing all that stuff, they ended up living together. But I had to remove the situation from my kids at the time. So, and it was just one of those like, all you have to do is be civil and calm around them. I just don't want them being exposed to the same stuff, right? And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like sometimes I'm hard on myself about it. Like I should have made it right, but there, I was doing the right thing. There's no doubt. Just doing the right thing.
Hmm.
So doing what was best for the kids. But yeah, like here's the craziest story out of all of it was I had gotten that job at Budweiser. I had to be there every morning, at 6 a.m., whatever it was. And it was like midnight or 1, and she was calling because grandma always was going to commit suicide. That's how it's going to be. She's going to commit suicide. You got to get over here. And they were both loaded. They'd been drinking all night and they were fighting. And I was like, she'll be fine. Like, she'll sleep it off. Trust me. And she kept calling, kept calling. So I drove across town. I get in there, made sure mom, all right, go to bed. Went downstairs. Grandma, you good? Yeah, I'm good. And then she said, so then I went up and I told my mom, I'm like, she's going to bed. She's good. Just chill. And she said, well, and she wanted me, she got upset about something. She thought I wasn't taking her side. And I was just like, I'm not in the middle of this shit. I'm not. I'll wait down by the door and say, you get out of here, you ungrateful, all the things. And then I didn't. I stood by the door. I was waiting for them both to go to sleep. And then shotgun barrel came around the corner and ended up in my stomach while she had been loaded. And I was just like, you don't think, oh, like you just thinking, oh, I'm going to be holding on to my guts and getting to my car. It's weird when you have that situation, but all got out of there and things just kept progressing. I even forgave her after that for a while, but she did her best, man. She did her
How old
best.
were you when that happened?
I was probably 22, 23.
And that was your mom that did that? Fuck,
I don't,
you ain't holding no guts if you get a shotgun in the tummy, brother. You're done.
I know.
I've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just one of those nights that you remember, but just one of many crazy stuff. But she did a lot of good too. She tried, she was hard as hell on me about who I hung out with and how I was drinking and, doing drugs. And she always had that motto of, you can do drugs, but just do them around me. Like, I don't want you getting none of the bad stuff out there. I ain't, I tell my kids flat out, don't do it. Don't do it. And I show them every example I can of got people out there on the streets. It's unfortunate. I don't know. That's a lot, dude. It's deep,
Yeah.
right?
Well, you keep saying, you've said it twice, I think. She did her best.
Yeah.
Dude, calling it what it is, sometimes doing your best isn't fucking good enough. And that just is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, I guess
were your sibling, you're one of what?
I have two older brothers, half brothers.
Were they exposed to this shit or no?
Well, my oldest was not he was pretty much able to move out of the house. But my older brother, my middle brother, he and I were pretty close. He would help. He was a good brother about a lot of things, right? He kept me tough, punched me once a day when he walked by, and be a good brother. But he also knew to help keep me sheltered from some things sometimes when he could. I always look up to him. He's great.
How did they turn out?
Oh, great. Yeah, my oldest was a plumber, pipe fitter, and my brother, middle brother, he's been in the semiconductor industry after being a Marine. He's one guy that you have. We have we have different personalities in the sense he is kind of a carefree, and things have always just not always. He's always worked, but things go his way. Like he doesn't stress over anything. It's amazing to see. Whereas I
And
want
your
to be more calculated. I want to think things through, have a plan. He's just been free will, and he's done great. It's done real good.
and your old man went to prison over a dope deal?
Yeah, they one of those. Hey, take this package from here to there and put your kids through college. Just was wrong place, wrong time. Did his time, didn't say nothing, and got out. And then started. He's entrepreneurial. He's always worked hard, and but he took a chance on something that in the '80s that wasn't very uncommon to do. You know.
Was he into that stuff heavy, or was this like a one-time thing?
No, he was just more business minded. I don't know.
Saw an opportunity, what he thought at least.
Yeah, yeah. Make a take this, do that. I don't know.
Was he a
He
biker?
no, no. He wasn't. He was just a hustler. He's always been a hustler. He's good.
How
He's
long did he
good.
serve?
My brother or my dad?
No, your old man.
He was Army. He was
No, 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 no. In prison.
oh, it was just 2 years. So it was, yeah, 2 years. I don't know. It's kind of a blur. Some of that stuff in that age time frame, right? Going down, visiting was different.
How old were you?
Luckily, my mind just focused on hockey, right? Like I just focused on hockey, and it carried me through and got me out of everything and got me through college and first degree, first generation grad, and I think that's where people need to get out of their comfort zone, get out of their town, get out of Dodge. Uh, you got to go experience other things. That might have been what was the biggest influence in my life. Was hockey got me up to Denver for Team Colorado, and I'd stay on the weekends with these really well-off families, wherein somebody in Cherry Creek, you stay the weekend at their house, and you go to the fridge and they've got Gatorades and
So it's like
snacks.
a billet fam or whatever they call
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they just would alternate. So you'd stay with different families because 12 kids were from Denver, you know, and we were south of Denver by a couple hours. So got exposed to what life can be like and get a taste of that and see that. I want that when I get older. That's what I want to shoot for. And yeah, it's different. I didn't think I'd be going here with all this, but here it is, right? Like, it doesn't matter. It blends and teaches us all to. It's no different, right? There's 100. Trust me, there's so many people out there that have some of these same experiences. Worse, worse. You know, I know my wife. We knew each other from back in those days, and she came from. She's had it tougher, and she's overcome bigger struggles, thought bigger than them than I even just said. But there's no judgment. There's just an understanding of how it was and what we want to accomplish, and that works really well.
Have you ever just like sat back and thought about it would have been very easy for you to go down that same path? I mean, you kind of were in a sense with the drinking and fucking off, but for all three of you guys to kind of, have a pretty darn successful, good life right now, it would have been very easy to not have it go that way either, just based
Oh
on your
yeah,
upbringing.
oh yeah, yeah. There was one guy that owned a bar here in town that was saying, in my later 20s, like, yeah, good to see you're succeeding. I didn't. The expectations weren't gonna be that high for you. You overcame a lot, and yeah, easily could have gone down the wrong slope. I guarantee if I did not play hockey and get out of here, it wouldn't be the same. It would have been a completely different deal.
If you never would have left your hometown, you would have ended up in the gutter then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right after that senior year, started going down doing different things and hanging out with guys. And there was a long night of multiple different drugs and being up and, over a drug deal gone bad. And the guy pulled the gun on the other guy. And I'm standing with the guy that pulled the gun. And I mean, if he had pulled that trigger, that would have changed my whole life. And I don't know. Yeah, it would have been different. I know it would have been different. So I'm grateful. I think that God has a plan for each of us, and we're just kind of that piece of whatever the plan is. And so whatever the experiences were, if they help somebody else out, if they don't, I don't know. It's a lot.
No, yeah, obviously, but I'm just thinking, have you had any more guns pointed at you?
No, no.
Well, good.
Yeah. I mean, there was a guy that pulled a gun, opening day of Antelope, where we thought we had permission, and we didn't have permission, but it wasn't pointed at me. So that happens too.
Is
This
this
changed.
is like reflecting on your life and the hard times and stuff? Is that difficult to talk about?
No, no, because it is what it is, right? It's my journey. It's just part of it. Um, I don't know. I've never. The only thing that was weird about it, I think, when I got to college, that freshman year in the dorms, you're just telling stories of life, and people think this guy's making shit up. Like, there's no possible way, you know. And I learned to just drop it. And by senior year, that was the growth I had made. Was it, just leave that stuff behind. Just shut up. Just being present in the room or the party or whatever we're doing, and just work on being the best I can be. And then it seemed like, all right, but when you're sharing those stories, people are like, come on, dude, really? I have a friend that I'd come home from college, and he picked me up over at my dad's, and jumped in the car, and I grabbed some beers. I wasn't even 21 yet. And we're rolling down the road, and a guy pulls out in front of him. And well, he didn't have his shirt on. He had spent some time in juvenile for He shot some guys with a shotgun. And
Your buddy?
yeah, but he got out and he's done real well with his life. But he was jacked, right? He was jacked. He was a tough dude, but he didn't have his shirt on. I'm jumping in the car. I got my beers. I'm drinking. We're rolling down the road. I don't even know what we were headed to. And some guy cuts him off. And my buddy puts his billy club in the dash. And this guy puts his pool cue up in his dash. And they are just jarring at each other. And we get to a stoplight and I figure it's going down. And then they realize they knew each other. So then they're talking. Hey, what's up? And we're rolling down the road and the cars behind us are getting pissed because they're only going like 25. So people are honking and we get to another stoplight. I look up and over my shoulder and I see a guy, and this guy with a wife beater and Lokes on comes up and he's reaching in the car, grabbing my buddy. The middle of the intersection, middle of the day, like, what the fuck? And my buddy gets the door open. This guy had a bottle behind his back, busted it over his head, and stabbed him in the neck. And that glass like comes over the car. So shit, it's go time. And getting out and getting ready to run around the car. And my buddy got loose from him. The other guy they were originally jarring with each other, that guy had jumped out with his pool cue. And dude, they cracked that guy's head. I swear they hit him 20 times as he was falling. Fell into the door jamb. My view was still on the other side of the car, like what is happening, and looking across the car. And then I'm looking down through the door and this guy's out. And my buddy boots him in the face once, jumps in the car, bleeding, takes off. Cars were going through the intersection to watch this. And he's got to get to the hospital. He was kind of fading out. It's like, you got to drive. I'm like, no way, dude. I'm chucking beers out the window. Like, there ain't no way I'm driving. I've been drinking. So he kind of just stepped on the gas and I steered. We got to the ER and it was like a movie where you go in and this guy's bleeding. They missed his jugular by like an inch when he stabbed him with that bottle. But crazy time, dude.
What the fuck?
I know.
Why did the guy come at him? Because they were going too slow?
Yeah, that, and we might have flipped him off. You know, I don't even remember. But he was pissed off, and luckily my buddy didn't get in trouble because that guy never showed up to court.
What?
So,
Okay, so the other guy ended up making it after he got curb stomped then?
yeah, he went to they rushed him to the other hospital. There was 2 in town. But
What?
yeah.
Have you ever thought about writing a book?
Yeah. Yeah, but it wouldn't be too believable. It's so much stupid shit. No, I have thought about a book. Just making it to, yeah, I think I told you, making it to overtime, sudden death.
Yeah. I remember that. Yo.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I want to put it in sports. I want to put it in a sports way, going 4 quarters, and I break it down by fours. Up to your 20s is first quarter. Then you go to 40 at second quarter. You're making those adjustments, right? You hit halftime, midlife, so to speak. Then you make those changes, you make those adjustments, you quit drinking, whatever it might be. And then you get back out there and hopefully you make it the whole game and make it to 80. And then it's sudden death, overtime, everything's gravy. And have a bunch of different sports people put in what they feel is relatable to third quarter, first quarter, second quarter, right? Like, I think that would be pretty good.
Where are you at now? Almost halftime?
I'm past halftime, buddy. Yep.
Third
I'm
quarter
in
then?
third quarter.
Yeah.
I made the drop the out.
Yeah. Let's talk about the adjustments then. Obviously, the no booze, which is fantastic. You said 7 years?
Yeah.
Okay. What other adjustments have you made?
That I think we talked about that with the group, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you stack. I had to get that out of the way because whether it's alcohol, weed, or whatever, you're not going to be your fullest capability. And like you said, being competitive or, okay, I have an addictive personality. Be addicted to having your shit together. That's my biggest thing. Just be addicted to having my shit together. And I couldn't my wife said, okay, good. That's great. You're making that choice. But, we want to change everything in day one. I'm going to quit this and I'm going to quit doing this and I'm going to start doing this. She just said, hey, maybe just do one at a time. Just quit drinking. If that's what you're going to do, focus on that. So that helped start things. And then 7 years later,
Before we continue, how difficult was that or has that been for you to stop drinking? Did you ever relapse and fall off the wagon, or was it just like I'm done and then
no,
that's it?
no, once I made my mind to do it, it was pretty much done. It is learning to do events and things that you have to do that are usually drinking events, right? Um, I used, going to a sports game or going to Vegas and playing some blackjack, and I was associate that with a beer in hand, but it had to do a lot of those events. There was probably 9 months in that I had a dream, and I took a couple drinks, and I was just like regretting it.
I've had those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your brain
yeah.
does a lot. So I had this regret, like, man, I broke the streak. This sucks. Why did I do that? And then I woke up and was like, nope, streak's still going. So we're good. Never looking back after that. I wouldn't even risk it. I don't struggle with it at all because alcohol, it's a poison. I mean, I made sure I had put enough in my brain, read enough about it, learned about it. And when you do that, it makes it easier to make that decision. A guy, Craig Beck, anybody that wants to quit on their own, I mean, nothing against the AA, that's just as good, right? Like whatever the method is for somebody. But Craig Beck in his book talked a lot about things like how much on average people are spending. And I think at the time it was $6,000 a year spent on alcohol when you add it all up. When you think about it from that term and you're trying to get your life straight and you want to get your finances together, that's one reason, right? But the alcohol itself and the poison and what it does to you, it's not very hard to not want to. I mean, why would I want to be sick on the weekend? And that's what I did for all those years, just poison myself, feel sick. I hate being sick. I don't want to be sick. So, yeah, that was it. That changes a lot when we talked about neuroscience and learning dopamine and what all these things that can lead to your addictions with your phone, with anything. Why are we chasing this or that? And it's just been easy. It's way better, way better. Your bank account loves it, your family loves it, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to drink other than needing to. Most people want to get out of it, right? Most people want to know how to quit. They
I
do.
think so too. Yeah, at least I hope so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I, I drank enough for a lifetime. So when you add them all up, it's a lot of money spent. It's a lot of years, a lot of time wasted, man. That you don't get back. So if you're wanting to improve your life, I highly recommend it. And that leads to the next things that come down the line. It gets better. It
Y-
even gets better than that.
Yeah, what other adjustments?
Well, I mean, let's just use our thing for example. A year ago, you laid out a plan, right? I thought this guy doesn't understand. I am not, I'm past that point from all the injuries and surgeries and shit back. But the base of it all was 10,000 steps and a gallon of water for me, right? Like at least get that and not miss a single workout, not one, right? And you said to me, oh, I'll get on your ass if I have to, well, I'm of that mindset. Like, I'm not going to give you a chance to have to get on my ass. There won't be. So just lay it out there and let's do it. So that has now become 382 days straight of 10,000 steps and closing the rings. And it took time it really is starting to make major changes in me. Um, at this moment, right? So the simplest base things should be checked every day. And if I were to be drinking or anything else, I can tell you right now, if I'd have beers, that streak would never be here today. There's no way, right? You have to have discipline and carry that through the day. And it starts early and it even ends by making sure I'm going to sleep when I can on time, have water by the bed because I wake up at 4:20, drink 10 ounces of water, take a piss, weigh myself, brush my teeth, drink 10 ounces of water, get my drink ready, come out here and get my workout in. But I got to do that like within 10 minutes because I'm OCD enough that I want to make sure I'm here at 4:30.
Yeah, I think when it comes to what I do, and I think people they don't take this as seriously as I think they should. That 10,000 step goal and that gallon of water a day goal, it's the foundation, dude. Because chances are if you're getting 10,000 steps, you're probably doing some sort of physical activity more times than not, right? And by doing that physical activity, you're going to be thirsty, so you need to drink. And all of that it just ties in beautifully together. And I
Yep.
don't hound guys over doing that. But I think every human on the face of this earth should try to shoot for 8 to 12,000 steps a day and just stay hydrated, man. I think they'd be very, very surprised at how much their life improves just by doing those two very, very simple things. And the next thing you know, you're incorporating a sweat once a day. That can be sauna, that can be whatever it might be, a lift, a little jog, a walk around the park. It just compounds on top of each other, and it's been really fun to see you take that as literal as you have. Like, dude, over a year of 10,000 steps, that is a grind.
Yeah.
That is, you have to be very, very intentional when you're doing something like that.
Yeah. And a little bit OCD, right? Like you do. But it was get to that. And then now I want to finish the year. And I don't see why I would change this at all. Like once you know it, once you feel it, it's just the same as the alcohol. Why would I go back? There's no need for that. But the discipline piece of it, the consistency, those two things are the most important things anybody can instill in their lives is be disciplined and be consistent. And if you do those two things day in, day out, no matter what, it's going to have positive effects on you. It will. And I mean, I probably used to get sick, strep throat or something twice a year, it seemed like. Doesn't mean I'm not going to end up sick and this comes to an end, but there was a few times where I felt stuff coming on. And I think that the hydration and moving through it kept things going well.
You talk about discipline and consistency. That's all fucking super cute. How do guys get that? Like, what does that look like? How do people become more disciplined? How do people become consistent? What have you done? Like, how do you execute, man? Like, obviously there's no secret, Grant, but you know, you're 48 years old, almost 49. You're out working half the 20-year-olds that I coach. Like, why? How? What's the secret pill, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Something's got to flip. For me, it starts with injuries and for me, and then age. Most people are going, I don't, for the kids, I think that they'll have their stretches, right? They're going to, they're going to think in your 20s, I made it, and they're going to settle in, and then they're going to make it again. They're going to settle in. But when you get to 40 and plus, I really keep thinking, I think it's an important story, but right, the eagle, you've seen it. I think everybody's probably seen it. The story of the eagle on Instagram and anywhere else where the eagle
I'm not
can,
familiar. What is it?
well, it shows a bald eagle and it says that the eagle has a choice at 40, it can live up to 70 years, but it has to go through a very strenuous change, like painful. And it's a year-long process. Whether it's real, I haven't looked it up to necessarily think it's real, and I believe in it. But what it says is, in order for the eagle to survive the next 30, It has to go through this painful process because its beak isn't as sharp. It's got to break its beak off, right? And regrow another beak. And then it has to take that new beak and rip out its nails. And those have to grow back. And then it has to pluck all its feathers for those to regrow. And if it goes through that really painful change over the year, then it's like a new bird that can live till 70. And that is what's pretty much happening. You have the choice at midlife to really break it down, rebuild, change your whole perspective, your whole everything, whether it's how you eat, how you your lifestyle or, exercise, all the different things, you have to make a change. There's some guys that are packing it in. They are. There's guys that are just going to still keep doing the same thing they've done their whole life. Like, I made it. No, I'm good. You can't. Not if you want to keep hunting, especially, or do activities. You got to fight, man. You got to keep fighting and you got to make the change. And if you're young and you instill this in you, it's going to pay. I mean, people can be anything they want to be. They can make millions of dollars. They can have whatever they want to accomplish as long as they set goals. So setting goals is important. Um, Understanding that time is the most valuable piece of it all. We don't understand that when we're younger. And when you hit that midlife and past, you start to understand that you only have so many years left. So you want to extend it. You want to make the most of it. That's back to that book idea, right? Like, make the adjustments at halftime. That's the most important thing. If you're a sports guy, you know what your potential was. Get back to it. Don't be the guy that's always saying, well, it could have been this way. It could have been that way. No, you may have fucked up, but you have a chance every day. And I also would say, let's add this. There's too many people out there that are paralyzed, that have had strokes, that don't have limbs, that are doing 10 times more than some of these young kids or adults that are, 50-year-old men that have all the capabilities and are pissing it away. I think that should make people wake up. You are privileged. You have everything. I don't care how bad life has gone. You have the ability to make it better. And that workout in Utah, yeah, I'm just like the old guy in there trying to make it through that workout. And I look over, and we see, oh God,
Carter.
Carter. Carter's over there, one leg, doing jump rope. Like it all of a sudden it just hit me. Like, this guy's doing it. I really got to do it, no matter what. And those are the guys that I'm now looking at for. I just see guys that are doing things. Met a guy, Jerry, that lost both legs, and he took up sled hockey and was an alternate on the USA sled hockey team. I mean, made the most out of it. Could have just gone down the dope road and painkiller road, and didn't. Made the most out of it. A buddy of mine that broke his neck and shouldn't be walking. He's doing he has the Break Your Neck Challenge 5K run. He's making the most of every minute. So if young guys want to find motivation and then get their discipline together, they need to go and meet some people that don't have it as well as they do right now, and maybe they'll wake the fuck up.
Fuck yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, dude, because I look at Carter too, and you'll laugh at this. I thought it was pretty funny. We went out and hunted some elk this year, and we ended up killing one, and we're packing them out, and it's pretty much a straight shot uphill to get the fuck out of there. And I was messing with him. I'm like, dude, like, don't take this the wrong way, but you got it easy. I said something like that. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, fucking both my legs are tired, dude. Only one of yours are. He's like, dude, it don't fucking work like that.
Oh my God.
But like that, to your point, man,
Yeah.
he's out there fucking grinding. Like, carrying just as much weight as me, hiking the same fucking hills as me, getting up at the same time. You would never know. You would never know unless he fucking takes his leg off or is wearing a pair of shorts or, you know, you ask him why he limps a little bit. You would never know.
Yeah, he's a savage. I mean, just getting after it and dropping them left and right. I mean,
Oh, he's the best,
inspiring.
dude. Yeah, he inspires me.
Carter being a dog and inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I'm trying to boo-hoo myself during this pack out, and I'm like, you fucking bitch. Like, look at my guy right here. He's just no complaint in the world, happy as hell to be out there. Um, Obviously, he's probably got a little bit of a different perspective on life because I'm sure at one point he thought that he might not make it. You know, like you get hit by a tractor trailer, um, things are pretty much up in the air at that point, essentially.
Yeah. Yep.
Not a lot of people have had um, those situations, right? No, not a lot of people have had a shotgun pointed at their tummy. You know,
Yeah.
you look at life a little bit different. You take advantage of opportunities, and going back to the beginning of this conversation, we're all gonna check the fuck out at some point, and it's not gonna be our decision to do that.
Oh,
When it's your
no.
time, it's your time, and that just is what it is. So while you're here, you need to fucking go. You know, like
Yeah.
I put that shit in the group chat yesterday, and I don't know if guys think I'm trying to be rah rah or whatever the fuck, but today is as easy as it's ever gonna be for you right now. This is as
Yep.
easy as it fucking gets, dude. It's gonna be harder tomorrow.
Maybe that's part of the key is for younger guys to surround themselves by driven people. It's who you're surrounding yourself with. If you're hanging out with guys that are telling you, "Oh, it's all right, man. Just have another beer. It's all good." Like, don't worry. That screw that. You don't have to quit. Just limit it to two. Like, get away from those people. Go to the people that are getting accomplishing huge goals. Try to be able to, you know what I mean? Or in my case, it's just that's what's happened. It's been surgery after surgery. It's been setback after setback. It has been my whole life. So the back, when your back goes bad, it's one of those that a lot of people will end up packing it in because you got to protect it, right? You don't want it aggravated. Um, but just as it would be, right, the hunt horse thing came along, and before that, this is 6 years. I have been I've had multiple injections, epidural injections, facet injections, radio frequency ablation. I had to start getting up at 4:30. I read Jocko's book, right? Like Extreme Ownership and Discipline Equals Freedom. And I read Goggins' book or audiobook and Cam Haines. I mean, people dog on some of these guys, but like you're an idiot if you are. You shouldn't. What they're doing is telling you what it did for them, and you can't listen to those guys and not be driven, I'd say. But back to the point of the injuries, is this whole thing is to try and keep moving and not go down the surgical route, not end up there. And you want to be able to move. And I had guys in the show that great guys, right? And you get the banter and you get somebody telling you, come on, old man, we're going to run 100 miles. And, we just got out of the army and they're great. They're great shit talking, but it fired me up like, okay, all right, I'll show you. And I had just had my toe fused, probably 9 months, or I don't even know if it had been 9 months. I had my big toe fused. I'm like, I'll never run again after that. And ran 100 miles, blisters, learning how you have a shorter big toe. So your middle toe is ramming into everything. And you just got to learn and adjust. So that happened. I have had 3 elbow surgeries. It was like every Christmas I'd have a surgery. So both tennis elbows and a golfer elbow. And yeah, this toe surgery, back stuff. Pain is just part of life. People get pain. They want to be pain free, especially some of the younger kids. They think that they're going to take some meds and they're going to be pain free. Just not going to be. If you have a bad back, you're going to be dancing with it. You got to dance with the pain and part of life, man. So if you get to, if I was earlier, maybe I would have not lifted the way I did. I would have focused more on foundational and making sure that all of my body was structurally sound, I'd say, right? Like I'd work towards that before worrying about being giant or bulky. Um, for me now, I just want to be mobile. I want to be least amount of pain as possible and still have the lungs and legs to go and get whatever I want to get.
Yeah, I see that sometimes, especially with younger guys that I coach. When they come here, I feel like they almost want to impress me with how much weight they lift or whatever. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that, dude. I'm not trying to prep you for a bodybuilding show. Like
Yeah.
that's not how we train here. So that goes to the ego thing though, right? Like I squatted 2 plates today in the gym. Don't give a shit. Like that's not a lot of weight, but feel great.
Yeah.
Moved it pretty easy. I don't have any reason to throw 3 plates on that thing. For what? For who?
Yeah.
Why? To blow a fucking disc out?
Anything you can to not jack your back up. Like
Yeah.
that's
There's
that's
this Grant, there's this one guy, man, in my gym. He's every bit of your age. He's on everything that I'm sure he can get his hands on. And I see this guy multiple times a week. He goes over to the decline barbell bench and he throws 375 on that motherfucker twice a week and rips it for like 2 or 3. And I'm like, why? For what?
yeah.
What's the point, dude?
That's I'll tell you that
That is so much weight.
yeah. But it's his journey, right? Like
I
that's his
guess, but you're an
deal,
idiot.
bro. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
so dumb.
I would say eliminating that's been a big piece of growth is understanding my journey. It I, if I were in the gym or like even on our with that workout, I wasn't there. I was there on my journey, on my time, at my age. I wasn't competing, you know what I mean? Even though I like to compete at things,
You were doing it for you.
I just was going to do what my time was going to be. Um, and everybody's on their different journey. And then that's like back to where you see Carter doing his thing and, Granda's doing his thing and the cracking jokes and how everybody's going about their journey. So it has made life so much better and more pleasant when I don't focus on what anybody else is doing in that sense, right? If I care about them and I know them and I have a reason to say, you have a booger on your face, like tell them something's wrong, then I'll do it. But other than that, everybody's on their own journey, man. And we are focused on, if you just focus on you, it makes life so much better. But I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to,
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
saying that's an
I hear you.
opportunity that I think more people should pay attention to is however anybody's doing stuff, that's their way, man. And they're going to have to deal with their own consequences of it. But
I think that leads pretty good into kind of the social media thing too,
yeah,
right? Like because the algorithm, so to speak, is going to throw you random people. You cannot control that because sometimes people show up on my feed that it's like follow them, and I'm like, no, I don't know these folks. You can control who you do follow though, which is why I only follow a couple hundred people of people that I like, right? I
yep,
follow off the top of my head, I think I follow 2 other people that do what I do just in their own way, fitness coaches, because I know them. I've had them both on the podcast. I like them. I like their stuff, but I don't compare myself to Brad Dunn. I don't. Why would I?
yeah,
He's doing his own fucking thing and he's doing great. And I'm doing my thing. That's where social media can get dangerous though. When guys or gals are looking at other guys and gals, comparing and contrasting, their life to whoever they're looking at. That can be a very dangerous game to play.
yeah. And it's really got to be hard on the kids. You know, they they were raised seeing Mr. Beast and all these different people, and they're all trying to reach something that is not reality in most people's situations. Like, do not trying to get them all to focus just on their own shit. Just focus on you. And I like social media from the community standpoint, the hunters, right? And the wellness and the motivation and seeing people's lives change and seeing what they're doing and that part. But I am not, I don't know what it is, but I am just as happy for everybody, even if I know they're a douchebag and they kill something. I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and say, no, bullshit, whatever,
Same.
dude. Good job. Just good.
I think it's
Like,
because we both know how difficult it is to be successful with whatever you're hunting.
yeah,
It's
it's
hard.
a challenge, but there's so much to that also that correlate to life, like being stuck on, getting the chance to hunt private. That's great. I don't, I mean, I've had my private times and I've had public, right? Start on public, had some private access. That's great. But you could fall into I've made it and if you just hunt that, that's great for some people. But you don't learn or grow if you're not going to different areas and different spots. And that's been a game changer for me is to
Yeah.
really broaden the horizons and go uncomfortable places, go somewhere new. It helps you to grow and become better at hunting. But if some guy that I know has shot a buck or a deer, or I mean, a buck or antelope or whatever it might be, just on the same place every year, still a hell yeah.
Hmm.
Like, hell yeah. And it's their journey. It's not
Yeah.
mine. So, I mean, people get up in arms. They killed on private. Oh, they got I don't care.
No, me
Good
neither.
for you.
Yeah.
And I'm moving on. And
Yeah. That's keep it moving, man. I'm the same way.
yeah. So I think people are comparing themselves and they do get down and they want to be here and there instead of just enjoy the process, man. Enjoy it for what it's worth. It's really good for hunters to come together in a community and be able to that Proposition 129 or whatever it was when we were dealing with that for the mountain lion ban, that became epic, that everybody was in tune to what's going on and being able to share that stuff, because talk to a lot of people that were non-hunters and help them understand what we were up against, and the wording was going to sound cute and sound good, but it's not the right thing. So I don't lots of things, man. There's so much to it, but yeah, congratulations on making it 1 year. And then you're just going to keep stacking things. And then by doing this, it makes you a better coach. It makes you a better father, um, better husband, better everything. There's no doubt about it, right?
No, I appreciate it. Um, I don't know if I'll ever drink again, dude. I have no aspirations to. It's gonna have to be something out of this world for me to break my streak, I think. And I think I've already experienced that. I had a kid, I arrowed a bull, shot the biggest deer in my life, went to Monday Night Football for my favorite team. Like I did all those things and didn't drink. Now I haven't gone to Vegas. That's like my favorite place on earth, so we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, I thought it was going to be hard. It turns out to be so much better.
I think it's
And
gonna be better too, to be honest with you.
everything's better. It feels like this is going to suck. It's going to be so miserable, but um no, I mean, I just get addicted to soda water and limes coming my way, or you go in, or I go in earlier to play. There may not be the same atmosphere, but I like that fact,
Mm-hmm.
because playing at midnight and beyond, you got guys blowing smoke in your face and
Mm-hmm.
drunk and obnoxious and screaming. And I'd rather go down to the tables, hang out, cup of coffee, you know. Maybe it's like being a 90-year-old. I don't really give a shit. I enjoy it and I'm not stuck around idiots.
Yeah.
And like it's just transitioning. But you also don't go on tilt. You're not losing money like crazy. You have your structure. If you know what you're gonna play with, you're not
Mm-hmm.
going back to the room if you got your ass kicked, feeling like,
You ever
well,
play craps?
oh yeah. Yeah, my wife's
Yeah, I love craps.
she's incredibly smart and good at craps, dude, and wins.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe we'll set that up in 26. That'd be a great time. I didn't get to go this year. I went like 3 times the year before last, so we're due. And I got my wife to like it too. She thinks it's awesome there. So
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten out of hand out there, but they, $20 for a bottle of water if you're not getting comps.
I'll just text Dana and I'll have him hook us up at the Red Rock. I got you, dude.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah,
I
Kim, hey, you gotta think about maybe that someday. I know it's all
I
men stuff.
I told her it was all good and I never heard from her.
Yeah, she's been through it. She's lived out there the whole time and not got caught up in anything. And it's pretty hard to live in Vegas for a long time and not get involved in the shit that goes on out there, right? Get drawn into
Yeah,
that. So it takes discipline, it takes knowledge. But
100%.
dude, if people understood all the benefits of discipline, they would do it tomorrow. But they're waiting. They're freaking waiting. They're waiting for the right time, and there is no right time. It's just go today. Today.
Right
Make the
now.
change. You won't
Hmm.
regret it. Reach out if there's questions on things, but it's really just replacing your lifestyle with a better lifestyle, a different lifestyle. And some people are going to not be involved in your life anymore, and it's okay. And you're going to go to events and call it a night long before, and then I just go to meetings the next day sometimes when we're at national meetings and like got my shit together, feels good. How was it last night? Sounds like a blast, but probably wasn't, you know?
Yep. It's
And you're
part of it.
suffering right now, so but I'm not judging that. It's just their journey, but that's what they got to go through.
Yeah.
And if you live a good life and try to be positive and real, people see that shit. And that's another thing I think the younger guys need to know is just be yourselves. Don't try to be somebody. Um, I mean, going on to the Hunt Wars thing, they had to tell everybody that. And, there's some people you see them on these shows and you see them trying to be somebody they're not. It doesn't work. It's just never going to work. Just be you. Just do you no matter what. And it'll all work out. And you're going to fail and you're going to screw up and things aren't going to go your way, but use the failures as fuel and the losses as lessons. And you can do a lot.
I don't know how else to end it, man. I appreciate you. I always knew we'd do one of these. I was just kind of waiting for you to get through and then we hop on. So I'm glad we got to do this, man. We'll do it again sometime.
Definitely, Tyler. I appreciate you and keep going, keep doing it. And just looking forward to all the growth, man.
My man. Thanks again. Stay on the line. I'll get you out of here, dude.
All right.